Yo, what's up, I'm your girl A1 the artist, aka I am the Black Sheep.
And I'm your girl Robin.
And today we're going to talk about the shit that people think about,
but don't want to talk about.
Similar thoughts.
What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning back in with us on episode 4.
Ow. I am excited.
Yeah, we are just getting through these episodes. To all of you who have tuned in since episode 1, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
It's been really fun.
We always appreciate you.
Always love and appreciation. And today is pretty exciting because yesterday was our favorite co-host, A1 the artist's birthday yesterday.
I'm the big 4-0 now. Old lady in the house. But I'm like a fine wine. I get better with age. You better know it, okay?
Absolutely. You could have fooled me. I had no idea she was 40. But yeah, so everybody, check her out. Go to her page. Go to Similar Thoughts. Go to IAM_the THA Black Sheep. Shout her out. Go wish her a happy birthday. Guys, come on. Share the love. Happy birthday.
Send me the birthday love.
Send the birthday love. And if you're feeling real nice,
you can cash out. You can definitely cash out.
Cash out.
If everybody
40 for the 40th.
If everybody send me $1, everybody who's listening send me $1, that could really make my day.
Right. Hey, that's a lot of dollars. $1.
All right.
Okay, let's get into it. Today's episode, as you can see from the title, is about these doggone COVID vaccines.
Yes.
Let's kick this off, A1. What are your thoughts? What's going on? What's up?
So the biggest thing that I think people are struggling with is, should we get it or should we not? And a lot of people are kind of going through the reasons why they should and the reasons why they shouldn't. Basically, right now, 34% of Americans are fully vaccinated at this point. Out of all Americans, 36% of all the people in the world, 36% are vaccinated, 34% think that they should, 25% says no, and 5% said they're unsure. So that kind of messes with the herd immunity that they are trying to implement, which is basically where so many people are vaccinated that we can start getting back to being normal. The numbers that they needed to put herd immunity in effect is at least 51% of Americans need to get vaccinated in order for us to do that. So we want to kind of talk about what's the hesitation and why do you think that people don't want to get it?
Why do I personally believe it?
Yeah, what did you come up with? Because I know we have our own personal feelings about it versus what's really out there and why people don't want to get it.
And I want to piggyback off of your statistics, and I'm just going to condense it down to just the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
Okay.
It says 13% of U.S. adults say they will definitely not get the vaccine.
Mm.
And the top 4 reasons of those 13%, 17% of them are reluctant because it's just too new.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I understand that portion. This is very new. 8% just don't believe vaccines are effective at all. Another 8% believe they don't need it. They feel like they're immune to getting COVID, like a lot of these folks in Atlanta. Anyways, and 8%.
Sidebar.
and another 8%, they just don't know what's in it. They don't know what's in it, so they don't want it. And I mean, I guess I understand those reasons, but I mean, do we know what's in the flu shot? Do you know
what's in any shot?
All of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, do we know what's in any of it.
Yeah, because it's like you gotta get all these shots when you're a baby. Like nobody questions those. I would like to speak to the speed part of it because it's something I've been thinking about. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, it came up with it too fast." But it's like, what is too fast? Because like if you think about them creating the smallpox vaccine or the chickenpox vaccine or the HPV vaccine and all of the vaccines that they have nowadays that you have no problems taking. It took them longer to do that because of technology. Like right now we have, and not to mention that all the scientists in all over the world work together to do this, and we have better technology, better research ability, better, like a lot of things have advanced so much in medicine and technology that they have the capability to come up with something good within a year's time. So I don't know what that stigma of, oh, it came up with it too fast comes from. It's because like they had the resources to come up with it fast. This is a major thing. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah. You're absolutely right about that. Because, I mean, honestly, they're still perfecting the flu shot. So there's always room for perfection. So I guess I understand the it's too soon argument. But then again, I don't. Because, I mean, is it too soon? Because, like you said, we're able to communicate across nations. You know, we're able to band together. We have all these resources. So, I mean, I don't know if I feel like it's too soon, like they created it too quickly, or not enough people have, like it hasn't been long enough for us to really see the side effects of it, I guess is what concerns me.
And that's a valid concern because I've talked to several people who feel the way you feel. Like, I want to see what happens to everybody else because you don't know what the long-term effects are. But I don't know. My take on that is you got to die of something. So it's like, whatever that is, like you cannot get the vaccine and go outside and get hit by a bus, and then it's kind of like, okay, you died of that. So it's like at the end of the day, like what is your normal and what feels right for you, you know?
You're right. And I mean, as of right now, you know, we have the Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Of course, as of right now, Johnson & Johnson is the only one that has had some life-threatening, like, effects of the people. Because, you know, the Johnson & Johnson is just one dose, just one shot, and you're out. But the 28 there have been 28 cases of people getting blood clotting, a rare case of blood clotting as a result of the vaccine, and of the 28 people, 3 have died. So the CDC put a halt on the Johnson & Johnson, but it has since been activated again, and people are out getting it. So they're still monitoring the whole blood clotting issue. But I mean, just don't get the Johnson & Johnson one if that's your concern, because a lot of the ones haven't had really life-threatening.
And there two things I would like to, like, with Johnson & Johnson, like, there was a big thing about the baby powder, like the tope giving you cervical cancer. So it's like, if you can't get baby powder right, what makes you think that you're going to get a vaccine that's supposed to save people's lives right? So that was a big turnoff to me when they first came out with the Johnson & Johnson. I'm like, and then you got one shot, like, what makes your stuff so special that you can only do it in one shot versus everybody else is saying you have to take multiple shots.
Right.
In addition to that, I recently looked into where they are putting the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which I thought was fascinating. So basically it's getting put in, what do they call it? Rural areas. And so translation, black neighborhoods. And so they're making it more available for you to get it in those areas. So like when you think of rural areas, that's not the suburbs, that's not the high dollar areas. Rural areas is like low income housing. So if that's the only choice that you got, then who are they trying to kill off at this point? So that's kind of suspect to me too.
And speaking of, you know, a certain people, black people have always been adamant about the government and injecting things into our body. And you actually dropped this knowledge on me just recently. The lead scientist, if you want to talk about that, if you looked into her any, the lead scientist on the vaccine.
Yeah, she actually was the inventor. It was invented by a black woman. So if you were skeptical of taking it, her name is Kismethia Corbett. And she's actually a young doctor too. She's like 24 or something like that. And
she's 34.
34? Okay. But that's still young.
That's very young. What?
So it's like, when you think about all the amazing things, just a little sidebar, all the amazing things that black people invent that we don't get credit for, let this be one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So when
the traffic light. Let me stop.
The peanut butter. No. I'm just playing. But not really. Anyway, so
great follow up from Juneteenth.
So yeah, but what was very interesting is that, you know, a lot of black people don't want to take it, but a lot of white people are taking it, and it's kind of like, if white people are taking it, then, you know, it can't be too bad because they're not going to do anything that's going to kill them. So that's something to be said.
But you know, black people are naturally conspiracy theorists, so they're probably thinking, you know, you injected them, the white people, with something else, and y'all trying to give us this bullshit,
right?
Trying to kill us off.
Right.
So I mean, even if we got a black woman, black women, by the way, are the most educated group of people in America.
Amazing.
Just thought I dropped that. The most educated in America, black women.
Amazing, phenomenal, like strong.
Love
everything.
You,
black girl magic.
Phenomenal woman, phenomenally. But anyways, yeah. So even if we got a black woman at the helm of this, you know, black people are still just. We're always going to be reluctant to do things like this, I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
Because of the traumas. Like, this is just generational trauma.
That's facts. And so I think that, you know, it's something to definitely be looked into. So how about you said that you're skeptical about it. I am, just, you know, sidebar, I am fully vaccinated. I just recently got my shot the other day. My arm is a little sore, but other than that, I don't really have any major side effects that came from that. So I feel fine. I feel ready to go. But I know that there are some possible side effects that can occur. Most of them are minor. It might have like your headaches, your muscle ache, which would be my arm or whatever. You might feel a little sleepy, fatigue, or you might have a fever. But one of the uncommon side effects that I found was 1 in 100 people might get enlarged lymph nodes, but that lasts about 2 weeks and then it goes away. And this is with Moderna and Pfizer too, by the way. And then the rarest side effects that's 1 in 1,000 people may experience is drooping of one side of the face. I think that's like worst case scenario. But that does go back over time. But it's like, I guess I don't even know what that looks like a mask almost, like the dude in what's the movie Men in Black, when he had the roach and he had to pull his skin back. But
I wonder if it's like something like a stroke almost, like something in it triggered a stroke. Because this doesn't happen when you have a stroke, like you
lose feeling in the side of your face.
Yeah, so maybe it's like triggering something.
But again, that's worst case scenario. You know, that's not something that's common. And
it's not fatal. It's not fatal.
Right. None of them. Nothing has came back in my personal research that says that anything is fatal. So that I completely understand wanting to see what happens, because, you know, a lot of people feel that way. So what are some of the like crazy myths? I know you were talking about the Tuskegee experiments. I know one of the ones that I find interesting is that people feel like that they are injecting us with a chip. So I do now. That's a whole nother podcast about the chip and the New World Order and all those things. Like I can go into a real tangent when it comes to that stuff. But it's definitely liquid that they give into you. I don't think it's like transformable liquid that's gonna turn into a chip when it gets inside you or anything like that. I feel like that when we get chipped, we gonna know we're getting chipped. I don't feel like that's gonna come in a disguise. So but that's just my thoughts. I get why people might feel that way. A lot of people feel that way because they like, oh, this is a world disease, and so what a perfect time to inject the whole world with it. But again, I feel like when we get chipped, we gonna know we getting a chip. So what's the some of the things you kind of, what are you laughing for?
You.
What'd I say?
Getting chipped. If they wanted to chip us, we would have gotten chipped a long time ago. Not playing. I don't know.
We gonna get chipped.
I don't know how I feel about it.
It's coming. It's coming.
If we do you think it's like mandatory or is it optional?
No, it's gonna be mandatory. Oh, we gonna make a podcast about the New World Order and the chip. We gonna talk about that.
Oh my goodness!
I'm gonna invite my good friend to talk about it. She's a conspiracy theorist too. We gonna have a good time. We talk about it.
Yeah, some straight up conspiracy theorists. Because I just be sitting back like, I mean, okay, I don't know nothing about it, but okay, I see it in movies.
Yeah, exactly. Movies are to prepare you for what's to come. Don't get it twisted. Like, you think about these movies. Look at Terminator and the robots and all that kind of stuff. And our robot even, like all the things that robots can do for you now.
Yeah.
So movies are to prepare you for what's to come. So don't get it twisted.
We are like utilizing robots a lot more. Like I think it's here in Atlanta, like a pizza restaurant where they have the robots delivering pizza to you.
How
like,
about
the
they
robots
have
are taking your order?
A whole robot sex doll, but like where you can like program your robot. We're getting off subject. We're getting like way off subject. But yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to create a whole episode for that sort of thing. But yeah, conspiracy theories. I can go really far into that. Back on this. So what are your personal pros and cons about the vaccine and whether or not you think you want it? Or I know you were saying that you want to wait and see what happens, but obviously you're leaning towards getting it at some point. Like, what makes you want to do that?
I mean, I'm not. Listen, I am for it because I want to protect myself, and I feel like it can protect me.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that it's not preventing me from getting COVID. Like I can still get COVID and pass it to somebody. I just won't get as sick or possibly die from it. And I think that's something that people need to know.
Right.
That's why I don't like the CDC coming out saying if you're vaccinated, or the president coming out saying if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear your mask. That's a lie.
Yes.
Still wear your mask because you can still get the disease and you can pass it on to somebody else.
Yes, definitely still wear your mask, still sanitize your hands, wash your hands, keep doing the same practices because she is completely correct that the vaccine is not for you to not get the virus. It's just to keep you from dying from the virus.
Right. So, I get all excited about not wearing your mask. Keep your mask on because you could potentially harm somebody else, like a loved one. So just be careful. And I guess that falls under why people don't want to get it. Like the statistic that I gave you, they feel like they don't need it because, I mean, if I can still get it, I can still get it at the end of the day. So I guess I understand that. Like, what's the point in injecting something in your body if you can still get it? But, I mean, I understand that, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know how my body... I never got COVID, so I don't know how my body would react to it.
And
so if I...
And that's where it's like, okay, if you get it, then you get it. Like, and some people might feel like, well, if I get it, I just get it. But the difference between getting the vaccine and getting it is like, okay, you are lowering your chances of death versus, like, yeah, I might get it. I might get a little sick for a couple of days and then I'll bounce back and be good versus I can get sick and die. So I think that's the main difference between whether or not you get it or you don't get it. Because, yeah, you could still get the disease, but, like, how severe is the disease going to be for you?
Right. So, yeah, that's my thing. Since I've never gotten, like, a real illness before other than a cold. And actually, last year was my first time getting a flu shot. I've never had the flu, so I actually don't know how my body would fight, something as severe as COVID. So that's another reason why, I would definitely get it because, I have a family now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and my husband has gotten it, and I just want to make sure, I don't transfer anything. Well, not transfer because I can still get it, but I just want to make sure that I'm around for them.
Yeah, I think for me, first of all, like when COVID first came out, I live in a home with two high risk people. My mom is has diabetes and struggles with breathing and all these things, and so and then I have an uncle who's just old and he has Alzheimer's, and so I went into full quarantine and I put my kids in full quarantine by taking them out of school completely and having them do homeschool. And the only places I were going is to work and back home and to go to the store every once in a while and back home. And then I went to see my dude. But other than that, as far as going out into the world, I limited those activities. But I watched my children go through levels of depression from being isolated and not being around people socially, and I understand how that's impacted them by not being able to go out and do the things. And then another time, my mom got some food and it was supposed to be brought to the car, but she hit the wrong button at checkout on the computer, so she had to go in to the store, and she literally had an anxiety attack coming back out because there were so many people in the store without masks. But my mom had not been anywhere since COVID started, so for her to be exposed back into society again after not being around people for that long, it interrupted her mental. And I think a lot of people are suffering mentally in some kind of way throughout this process of being in COVID. And so for me, getting the vaccine was getting back to some level of normalcy, even myself, because I'm an extrovert. If my job wasn't essential and I was able to go back and forth to work every day and I had to stay home for a year and do nothing else, I would go crazy. So I get it, what my children are going through, and we are slowly trying to acclimate our way back into life. And so to me, that's what the push was to get the vaccine. It was like, okay, I don't know what it's going to do. No, it's not a lot of research out there. I don't know what the long-term effects are, but fuck it, I want to get back to being normal. So I'm going to do this. And everybody in the house is vaccinated. My son is scheduled to be vaccinated, and when they release for my daughter to get vaccinated, she'll be vaccinated too. And I do want to reinsert us all back into being at some level of normalcy. I'm not saying I'm going to go to the club and be around a bunch of people, but I would like to go out to dinner, or I would like to go on a date with my boyfriend or something like that. These are things that we have, and our whole relationship has been through COVID. So that's a whole podcast in itself. When I think of get reasons to get it, it's like if you have been taking yourself out of the world, and it can't speak for the people that's just been living life normally like nothing's going on, because there are a lot of people who have chosen to just keep moving on with their daily life, and like you said, if they get it, they get it, and if they don't, they don't. But for people who have actually quarantined themselves in this process, they just want to get back to being normal. So.
And I think that's a great stopping point. Guys, listeners, community, please let us know how you feel about the vaccine on our social media. Check us out, _similar thoughts on Instagram. And just let us know how you feel about the vaccine. And if you've gotten it, if you haven't gotten it, why don't you want to get it?
Yes. And definitely, and I just want to say before we close all the way out, stop judging people. People who get it, stop judging people who don't want to get it. And the people who don't want to get it, stop judging people who got it. Let people live their life. Whatever reasons they want to get it or they don't want to get it, let it be. People are going to choose to do whatever they feel like is best for them and their family at the end of the day. So let's just leave people the fuck alone.
And that's Mary Had a Little Lamb.
All right. Well, it's nice talking to y'all once again, and we appreciate all of our listeners and continue to listen in the future. Y'all have a good week.
Yes, we'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's topic, let's keep the conversation going. Make sure you like us on Facebook at Similar Thoughts Podcast and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at _Similar Thoughts.
And also follow me at A1 the Artist. That's AONE _the _artist. And I am the Black Sheep. And that's I am _THA Black Sheep. Thanks again for listening. And you guys have a wonderful week.